Morning, guys. So I'm out here in the building trying to get some things done today. I'm gonna clean off a little bit of space and see if I can't try to get a table in here, because today on this glorious episode of Cornbread and Crap Boxes, we are going to see if we can't try to take the old rusty wheels that Copper has out there and try to paint them up a little bit. They won't look brand new, but they'll look pretty good, I promise you. I mean, it'll at least match, you know? It is cold in this building this morning, and all I have right now is this little heater, this little doohickey right here. But it serves its purpose, and hopefully it'll get this building in here warmed up. I would love to insulate, these walls one of these days and try to get some of this crud in here that's in here cleaned out. I have some plans for Zayden's little mini bike. It's electric. We just have a problem with the batteries, staying charged up all the time, and this has been the second time that batteries has been bought for this thing, and they always seem to go down whether the switch is on or the switch is off. And charging them is a nightmare. So I think what I'm going to do is maybe on a future episode of Cornbread and Crap Boxes, I'd like to cut that frame, and I'd like to put a little 79cc motor in there, so that way he don't have to worry about charging the thing no more. He can just put gas in it and go. If you have any comments or suggestions on how you think I ought to go about doing that, please let me know. I think I'm already going to have to either flop the chain to the other side or turn the motor around completely. I don't know, because I haven't got it out yet. And I know those 79cc motors are fairly small, but I think it's going to be a tight fit in this little mini bike. And I know he would love it. And who knows, while I got this thing apart and working on it, maybe I can, doll it up for him and paint it his favorite color and shine them wheels and make this thing look, halfway decent for him. Another thing I was going to show you guys is I finally got the exhaust pieces to Copper, so that way now when I get the money, I can finally get the exhaust done, and after that, maybe I can go get an inspection, put tags on them, and finally drive them on the road legally. I got this high flow cat. It's just eBay special, poultry flow, whatever that means. I don't know what a poultry is. Sounds like some kind of bird, but it's pretty high flow. And to be quite honest, I could probably make it more high flow, but, I'm just going to leave it like that because, why not, I guess. I also have this, and I have never used one of these before. In all my life of putting many different types of exhaust on. Not myself, having somebody else put them on, but me thinking of the ideas and using different things. I would love to learn how to do it. Only if I had the welder and the pipe bender. But I went and picked up off eBay Cherry Bomb Extreme. It is a 2.5 in, 2 1/4 out. So I think it will be the perfect size pipe, for the amount of power that this motor is pushing out of the truck. Probably more than enough air. So it'll leave me some leeway if I try to upgrade the intake later on in the carburetor, and who knows, might get headers for the thing. But if I get headers, I might end up changing the exhaust, which my wife will hate, because she'll tell me, "Didn't you already put exhaust on that thing?" Yeah, I already put exhaust on it, but, I just want to change it again. Is that all right? Lord, you change your exhaust like you change your underwear. Well, you change a lot of things too, but you don't hear me complaining to you. And that's usually about how it goes. it did come with 3 clamps in case I want to use it. I honestly might have them clamped up this time instead of welding the muffler. And I also got these bad boys. Now these is pretty standard. You see them on a lot of trucks, but I decided to get the 18-inch polished stainless steel, 2 1/4 in, 3 1/2 out tips. This thing is going to sound like the maddest bumblebee going down the road. Somebody will look at it and think, whoa, is that a Japanese Hornet? No, it's a 306 cylinder with a 1-barrel carburetor and a performance exhaust system that it really doesn't need. You know why? Redneck, that's why. I know it's been a little bit since I made a video, so I just wanted to update y'all as much as I could. I've been trying to do things on TikTok and doing things on there a little bit more. And I'm still doing the YouTube reels, and I'm still trying to do the Instagram thing. And, you know, I'm just doing it all at once so that way, you know, I can have more content, be able to gain more followers, be able to hear more back from y'all. And I'm trying to mash it together all into one. So that way it'll just make all 3 of them grow at the same time. So that way I don't have a different set of people on TikTok that really don't know anything about my YouTube, and vice versa, you know? Because there for the longest time, I thought having a TikTok would really help me gain followers on my YouTube, but I tried and tried and tried, and I even posted some of my videos off of my YouTube, and I even told people to go check out my videos on my YouTube. And I guess people that's on TikTok just want to watch 60-second videos. Even though you can watch up to 10-minute videos on TikTok now, they still want them short little versions of what the actual video is off YouTube. And I've seen people put those little clips up, and I thought about doing that to kind of help, you know, expand my horizon so that way I can gain more followers. Because my biggest goal with the social media thing is I'm just wanting to make it to where I can make enough income to where, you know, my kids don't want to have to worry for anything, and my wife don't have to worry for anything. And, you know, this is my passion, and this is what I love doing, and I love doing it for y'all, and I enjoy doing it for myself too, and working on vehicles and tinkering around on my own stuff and recording it so that way you guys can see my journey too. By the way, if you don't know what my TikTok name is, it's Cornbread102113. It's got a little bit different content because when I started on there, it has a little bit more of my comedy side, I guess. So it doesn't have as much, you know, me working on things and stuff like that. So a lot of the followers I have don't really know this side of me that I like to portray on YouTube. So they're just now getting used to it. And I'm getting, you know, some likes and some views, but not like I did on a lot of other videos. Another thing is I didn't post on there for a while. Like in 2023, I maybe posted like, I don't know, 20 videos at the most. And I used to post a video every day. So that's another thing I think that hurt me really in the long run. But y'all go check that out. And I'll be making sure that I post more stuff on there. You know, I'll keep you updated as much as I can, whether it's the Reels, Instagram, regular video on YouTube, or a video on TikTok. But just follow me wherever you can. Like I said, every little bit helps, and we're just trying to make it. You know what I mean? And by the grace of God, and, you know, through His help, and, you know, actually committing myself this year, it'll happen. I believe it. 100% it'll happen. And if I haven't told you, I appreciate each and every one of you guys that's watching, each and every one of you that's subscribed. If you haven't hit that subscribe button, make sure that you hit it now. Leave me a like, comment, hit that bell, share this, share that. Go to the Reels, go to the TikTok, go wherever you can so that way this channel can grow and I can push out more content for you. But anyways, let's get to the video. I got them moved right here, right now. I'm going to be painting the wheels inside my building because my grandma has her 49 Chevrolet in the garage down there and she don't want it out of the weather, which I can understand. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to jack up each axle at a time, take the wheels off, prep them outside. I'm just going to hit them with a wire wheel brush, and then I'll show you the whole process of how I paint my wheels inside the building. But while I'm out here, let's see if we can get a cold start on something that y'all haven't seen me cold start before. This is my ATK 125. I mainly got it for the kids, you know, just so they could ride with me. Now, I know a lot of y'all are thinking, you didn't just get that for your kids, you got it for you too. Well, you'd be right. I mean, I gotta have fun too. I would love to take that motor out and put one of them big old, I guess, 22 horse Predator engines you see up there at Harbor Freight. And we've been riding this thing, but I'm gonna show y'all something. The piston is riding on the rotor and the other brake ain't even hitting. So when you slow down in this thing, you just gotta hope and pray that whatever's in front of you will stop you and doesn't hurt you. I don't go too fast with the kids on this thing. It'll do about 30, 40 mile an hour with me on it. So I only put them around about 10 mile an hour, but me, I go a little, you know, overboard. I think everybody does. All right, stick whatever you can find in the ignition. Oh, might need a little bit of gas. Hold on. All right. Shoot, it's cold. Come on now. All right, here we go. Come on. Come on. Come on. Come on. Come on. Come on. Well, I don't think it's gonna start. It is way too cold, too windy for me to be out here fooling with that thing. So I'm just gonna go ahead and get to the rest of the video. Got the jack. Now we're ready to head back up to the house. So I'm trying to think if I got everything. I know I got my drill up here, got my jack stands, got that. I got the jack outside. Truck's over here, so that's ready to go. Paint's inside the house, so it's pretty much already warm. I guess I'm gonna go to Dollar General and get me some masking tape. All right, we made it. A little too thick. That might work all right. Oh no, that one's a little thin. Let's not do that one. Pro Essentials. Not as thick. I think I'll go with that. Okay, so for the first portion of what we need to do in order to prep this wheel to make sure it gets properly painted, or just properly painted in our eyes. The first thing you want to do, these weights that you see on the outer portion of the wheel, you want to remove. Now if it's on the inside, like if you got sticky weights, or you know, this is a weight used for a steel wheel. So if you ain't got the proper, you know, weight remover tool, you know, it has a thing on one side you can pinch and grab it, pull it off, and then the other side to hammer it back on. So what you do is you go get you a screwdriver. It can't be too small, has to be the right size. And you wedge this screwdriver in here and just beat on it, you know, just a little bit. And when you get to beating on it, you get underneath there enough you can pry up on it. Well, there went my tool. Now this is not a screwdriver, it's a chainsaw tool, but it's got this one end on it that is like a screwdriver, and it probably is a screwdriver. So we're going to use it for a screwdriver purpose, not meant to do what it's intended to do, but we're going to do it anyway. Now, you might be thinking to yourself, cornbread, how are you going to know to put that weight back? So that way, okay, you know exactly where it's supposed to go so that way your wheel doesn't get off balance. Well, you just take you a little bit of masking tape and stick it right on where the tire, exactly where the weight's supposed to go. I'm not painting the back side of this wheel. You can paint the back side of this wheel, but that means I got to take off the weight off the back of it, and honestly, I'm just trying to make this thing look good from 50 feet. I ain't trying to make it show quality, because I'm going to be working with this thing, going to be doing things with it. And I just want to make sure that, you know, it looks the best for the job that it's going to do. And after you get that on there, you just take your little handy dandy chainsaw tool, put that in there, and just go prying on that sucker. And she pops right off. If you ain't crocking, then you ain't rocking. After you get that taken care of, then next comes the messy part. You just get you a drill with one of these wire brush thistle, take off rust, get it clean good enough, but won't take it all the way attachments right here. Now, if there's any place that I would think that this thing would flake off because it's not prepped good, it'd be around the valve stem, or it would be in these little crevices where you can't really get all that debris really out of the metal. It really needs to be sandblasted and powder coated. But this is just a redneck's version of that. Just so that way it can be dandy for a little while, you know. Oh, did I hit that tire valve? I'd have hit it a little bit. Don't want to do that too much, and I'll get a leak. It'll be wrong song, ding dong. Obviously, you don't want to leave whatever you're using on the wheel. So what I'll do is I will use this LA's Totally Awesome and just spray that wheel and get it good and clean. And then I'll go over it with some 91% isopropyl alcohol and wipe it off with a shop towel. Then we can get it masked up and ready for paint. The alcohol after you use the degreaser, because the alcohol, it dries, you know, pretty much naturally quick. And plus it'll get in any crack and crevice that's in this thing that's not fully prepped, and remove all the wax and grease from it too, and whatever's left on the wheel that I forgot to get. That's off of just, you know, one cleaning. I'm gonna flip the rag and I'm gonna do it again just for good measure. Now you can pretty much buy this stuff anywhere on the shelf. All you really got to do, bust her open right there. Woo! Snap! And you can either pour it on the rag, which is what I'm going to do, or pour it on the wheel, which is what I'm going to do also. I got a whole big container of it. Might as well use a bunch of it, you know. Pretty much almost 100% alcohol, so I know it'll dry quickly. So make sure as soon as you pour it, if you ain't got a lot, or if you just misting it on, Make sure that you wipe it up as quick as you can, because it'll dry and you won't be able to wipe up what's left. I'm using shop towels. It would probably be better if you use a rag. Shop towels are pretty, durable, but with this rust and the sharp edges of this wheel, it seems to be breaking up. So make sure you just get a microfiber towel, or some kind of dish rag, or maybe you got some old underwear or some socks that you might can use to scrub this thing down. Just do that. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and take this thing inside, set it in front of the heater, and then we'll get this thing masked up and ready for paint. That's hot. It's real hot. One that didn't blow up. Them thing got warm. Look at that. Starting to melt the cap. Word of advice. Don't leave your paint cans too close to the heater. And just set it up against where the wheel would be, so that way the wheel warms up, metal warms up. So that way that paint will adhere to the metal the best way it knows how. Now the paint I picked today, if you buy it at Tractor Supply's, Magic Rust Kill Industrial Strength Rust Protection Multi-Purpose Spray Enamel. So I'm hoping that this paint will last a pretty good while, adhere to what I have, and if there's a little grease or dirt or brake dust or oil on there, that it'll just spray right over and stick. You ain't gotta worry about it. I like to start at the back side, get as close to the wheel as I can, and just wrap my tape around it, just like so. Wrap it one more time for good measure, but do it the other way. And get you a little piece for the top. And how we're going to do this is with the old index card trick. And what you do is, you could lay them in here this way, but I like laying them in here this way. And if they don't lay right after you get them in there in that crevice and you got them set down, just take you a piece of tape and go all the way around there, so that way they lay just right. But the only proper way to do this is if the wheel's lying flat, so that's what we're going to do. Yeah, here, go on. You damn right. All right, here we go. The true test is when you take this thing to a car wash and spray it off, and if it starts chipping, then you'll know that your prep work wasn't that good. Oh yeah. So this is our first coat. You don't want to do it on there thick because you want the paint to dry evenly. So it's not going to cover the whole surface just yet. But what it's going to do is it's going to allow the paint to dry the way it's supposed to. So that way when you throw your second coat of the paint on there, then you can throw it on thick and it'll cover up some of those blemished areas where you can still see the rust, or a lot of the naked areas where you can still see the metal. So I am going to go ahead and get out of here, so that way I ain't breathing in too much of these paint fumes. You know, I just don't want to come back on the camera and be like, hey guys, we gonna paint wheels today. And so that way the paint on the wheel have time to dry and get out of here, and just let it have its time. Let it sit for about 20 minutes. That heater in here, that should be enough time. Okay. And while we're waiting on that one, we'll go ahead and get wheel number 2 off and get it ready for paint. I was going to show y'all earlier, but I don't think I did. This is after I cleaned it twice with a degreaser. And just look how much stuff is on there. Just that we're getting off with the alcohol. And the thing about it is, when you're laying paint on anything, 90% of what your paint job is going to be prep work. Only like 10% of it is going to be the actual painting itself. So just going over it with the alcohol, really helps. Make sure that there ain't nothing on this wheel that's going to cause the paint to not stick good. Okay, so I got the door open because the fumes in here are just powerful. I went ahead and laid the second coat, and you can tell I laid it on a little bit thicker, and it's starting to cover up a little bit of that rust. And I got the second wheel sitting in here warming up, getting ready for paint next. I'm going to do one more coat on this wheel. Now I'm going to go ahead and tell y'all that we're not going to cover up every rust blemish or scratch or spot in that wheel. That all this is just to cover it up, make it look good, and it'll at least look 50% better, if not 75, than what it did. So that's really our goal. That's our main goal with this thing. You know it, I know it, is just to make it look good from about 50 foot. All right, guys. So I got the third coat, final coat, laid on that wheel. Done the first coat on this one. I got those 2 wheels taped where the weights was. I'm just gonna roll them in there because I'm gonna go spend some time with my family. Have a Big Mac hot dog. I don't know, I can't explain it. You know how people come up with crazy concoctions and they somehow look delicious. I will see you fellers tomorrow. All right, good morning, guys. Look who I got with me this morning. Decided to show up and help me today. You are helping, right?
Sure, why not?
So I'm going to teach Roscoe a little bit about painting wheels. You ever painted a wheel before?
No, but I've painted other things.
So I think he'll do just fine. I'm going to show you what I got in here. So wheel this morning was still a little bit tacky, so I got it set up against the heater so that way it'll dry up real good. Put on the second coat on this wheel, and I done this one. I think I'm gonna let Roscoe tackle the one outside, and I'm gonna put the index cards on this one. Go ahead and start painting this one. I guess you can work on wire brushing that one off outside if you want to. Sound good? Oh, yeah. Yeah. You done a fine job, Roscoe. What would you rate it 1 out of 10?
6.
6? In your own words, could you explain to me what kind of job you would call that?
Tasteful.
Tasteful?
Yeah, tasteful.
Say it ain't so, I will not go. I can't hear you. Say it ain't so, I will not go. Turn the lights on, carry me home.
Anyways, how does she look?
She looks great. She left me roses by the stairs. Usually Roscoe's a little bit more, vibrant, I would say, or charismatic, but he's being kind of shy today. Is it because of the camera?
It's early.
It ain't early. He was acting that way in the double wide.
It's early.
What time is it?
It's 12 and I ain't even had lunch yet.
Oh, so I gotta feed you, is that what you're saying?
Well, I mean, I can feed myself.
So he's just finishing up drying what he has left, and he's gonna lay the index cards in after he gets done masking the valve stem. I done got, I think, second coat on this one. Third coat on this one's done. This one is still drying. It's getting a little bit better. My finger has some paint on it. Of course, it's from pulling the tape off on this valve stem. but it was also from me touching this wheel, making sure it wasn't tacky. And it's getting better, but it's still a little bit tacky, so I'm going to let it dry a little bit longer. But he's going to get this one laid down, and then we'll get back with you with an update. So Roscoe got it, the valve stem masked off and got the index cards around there, and I think he done a pretty good job for the first coat, so he might be a professional, you know?
Maybe.
But you're doing a fine job. Got the second coat laid on this one, and it looks like we're getting this done slowly but surely. I don't want to have to take a torch to these wheels, but I will to get them dry faster, even if it messes up the paint. Like I said, I'm just looking to cover it, make it look good from 50 feet. I know it's enamel paint. It'll probably destroy it and tear it up and make it crack, stuff like that. Of course, I wouldn't hold the torch too close to it. I would keep it away. But I ain't got no heat lamp or nothing like that. And this right here is the fastest way I know how to dry it. And it's not that big a deal. The biggest thing is this, and I'll show you. So the back of the truck, this ground out here is soft, but those jack stands held up just fine. But I had to go down to my grandpa's garage, and you see how it tore up the dirt right there? I pretty much had to take a hammer and beat it out yesterday because the bottom of the jack ended up against the tire. And I'll go out here and show you how bad this thing's leaning. She's got a good lean on her, if I do say so myself. Should have put plywood or some kind of pieces of wood down on the ground where them jack stands were, so that way it wouldn't do this. But this is what I had, and this is what I worked with, and it's fine. It's up enough to where I can make sure that the wheels that I got inside the building will still go on here, and the nuts will still run up on them just fine. So as long as I leave it like this, and as long as it doesn't move, it should be fine. And as soon as those wheels get done drying, then I should be able to put them on here. That's the only reason why I'm trying to get it done that fast, because I know after a while, if this thing sits in the ground, it's going to start settling. And there's been a lot of rain out here recently, and been a lot of flooding everywhere. So I want to make sure that I get this thing on the ground, back on its rubber, before it ends up on the metal. Why don't you get on that thing and ride it down the hill?
Flat tire.
Scared of a flat tire, Roscoe? Huh?
Yeah.
Old Pee Wee Herman's big adventure right there. I don't think you got it. There you go. Are you tired, Roscoe?
A little bit.
Just a little bit?
Just a little bit.
Would you say that was the equivalent to?
Peloton.
Peloton?
Yeah.
I don't even know what a Peloton is.
It's that exercise bikey thingamajigger.
Exercise?
You know, rich people have it.
Exercise bike thingy-majigger?
Yeah, exercise bike thingamajigger. You pedal it. It's a Peloton.
Oh, okay, so like a fancy treadmill.
Yeah. Hey, what are you doing?
I'll just get my redneck creeper.
Is that a piece of cardboard?
Yeah, it's a piece of cardboard. But it keeps me from getting wet. Do you have a better idea?
Wouldn't a piece of wood work better? Piece of plywood?
Cardboard's flat. Works just nice. Getting the last wheel on. We're almost done. Whew. I'll tell you, I needed impact, because this stuff right here is for the birds. Whew. Wear you out, wear you back out, make you out of breath if you're fat. So here it is. We finally got her done, and got all the lug nuts on there and everything. Roscoe's just tightening her down, and I think it turned out really good. Now, it's not perfect. We have some runs. There's some spots where we got it on the tire and a little bit on the outer edge, and there's a little bit where we got it on the valve stem, and there's some places where we missed. But I'm telling you, from right there, looking at that wheel over there, it looks pretty good. I told you it was going to be a 50-footer. I mean, I ain't going to lie to you. I do appreciate Roscoe for coming out and helping today. Man, he's been a big help to me, and you might see a little bit of Roscoe more in the future. What do you think, Roscoe?
I think it just might happen.
But that's pretty much it for today. We appreciate y'all watching. Make sure you go like, subscribe, leave a comment down there for something that we did wrong, or if you want to know a little bit more about the process we did, I mean, I'm open to suggestions. So if there's a better way for doing it, I promise you, I'll take it. And
We'll see you fellas later.
see y'all.